the first thing we need to do is just essentially check all the Power BI data sources. That just makes sure that all the data is refreshed and everything. The actual refresh should happen themselves without having to do anything, but it should be checked every day to make sure it all works. So the way to do that is just log into Power BI. You can literally do that by typing in Power BI into Google. And literally one of the first links here, if you just click on the top one, there'll be an option to log in, which you'll see, have an account, sign in. From there you just sign in with your normal credentials. So in this case, I'm going to log in with Aaron's credentials here.
Yeah,
you just use those. And put your password in. That should take you straight through to...
Password, incidentally, is cost reduce 123 exclamation mark with a capital C.
Yep. And here you'll be brought to Power BI. This is the main... This is essentially the main landing page here. You can put your favourites and things like that. But I guess the most important thing for this is essentially this left-hand side board. These bottom two tiles. The top one is workspaces. And essentially you want to click on there and go to management. And from here you'll see all the reports that you've got. When you first click on it, you get on this landing page where it shows you everything. You can filter it down to, okay, I just want to see the reports and dashboards, or you just want to see the back-end data sources. The orange ones are all the data sources, blue ones are all the reports themselves, and these teal ones are the dashboards. Now, the first thing that I'm looking for when I log into this for my checks is these orange data sources and these refresh times. So this should happen daily automatically. But occasionally they will fail. As you can see here, they've tried to refresh at 6 a.m. this morning, and actually it was 6 a.m. yesterday, and seem to have failed. You can find out why this is by clicking on the exclamation point. It'll say. In this case, this is probably the most common time it's going to happen, unless there's actually been changes made to it where it's errored, which it shouldn't be. Is your data gateway has gone offline and can't be reached. Without going into too much detail of how the data gateway works and things like that, essentially there's a PC which Aaron owns, which is running an application to allow you to be able to read your data. So occasionally, if that PC is restarted itself for updates, or if the application shut down for some reason, you might need to log in and actually essentially log in and reboot that application. In this case, that looks like that's what the problem is. So that's super easy to do, to be honest. We've agreed to do this through AnyDesk, so that's just a remote desktop type software. So if you haven't got that, that's absolutely fine. Again, you just type in AnyDesk like that in your Google, and then you want to download the first one going. So download now. It's completely free. Make sure you've got Windows selected. Click download now, and then that'll go here. I'm just going to download it. I've already downloaded it, but I'll go through the process anyways. Download super quick. Open it up here, and this should bring up a screen similar to this one. So it won't be exactly the same. As you can see, I've got quite a few desktops on here, but there's only one that you'll be interested in. So I guess what the screen is it allows other people to take control of your PC with permission, that is. Don't worry about other people, just coming in and taking control. And it allows you to control other PCs with permission. And it uses an ID, so my ID is this, which you should probably ignore. And then you can select the one that you want to control. Now this one is, this number right here is the one for Aaron's PC, so I've just called it, you can give it a name, I've given it CRF Gateway, and that one, as you can see, is 564-878-615. So you just pop that into remote desk here and press connect, and hoping that it is online.
Is that because we're already on it?
Let's see, it looks like it is offline, so in this case, I need to speak to Aaron and get him to essentially run AnyDesk on that PC. I've set it up so that it boots and startups this AnyDesk application, but occasionally it won't actually it won't be running.
That
so
should be okay now, Tom.
Be okay now, yeah. No problem. So I'll retry. There we go.
So yeah, in that instance, Josh, you would have spoke to me and just let me know that AnyDesk isn't working on that PC.
Brilliant. So now I guess I'll full screen this so it's too confusing because you'll be looking at a remote desktop, a remote desktop, a remote desktop, or whatever. But there we go. So right here, this is this PC that we're controlling, and this contains this gateway that we need. So as you can remember, we'll go back to the error here. It said that the data gateway is offline and couldn't be reached. So the data gateway is on this PC, which you can look at the bottom right. I don't see the icon, but I'll show you what that is. So if you just type in data gateway in here,
you'll see there's an on-premise data gateway, and that again, as I say,
it allows you to be able to access the data on site from the cloud. So I'll just click on that, and this requires some elevated user rights. So this might be that you might have to ask Aaron to put in a password here. Unfortunately.
Okay, let's see. Yeah.
But essentially, what's happening on his screen is it's asking for administrative rights. So he just puts a password in, and then that's sorted. Okay. Email address to use this gateway. So now it's asking you to. This is essentially starting it up. Here I use Aaron's email address.
Oh, it seems to froze. There we go.
I'll put it in, Tom.
Okay. Yeah, you go ahead and put it in.
The password there, Jocelyn, is cost reduce 123 exclamation mark with a capital C. Okay.
Brilliant. Okay, so that's us booted up the on-premise data gateway. It is always worth checking that it says the gateway is online and ready to be used in the status section here. It is good practice, and I highly recommend. It says there's a new version available here, so I would recommend clicking download when that is available and download the new data gateway. It only takes a couple of minutes, exactly the same process of just booting it, putting the password in, it starts up. I do highly recommend this. I've had instances in the past where you can't access the data because it hasn't been updated. That's a bit bad of Microsoft, and I don't know why sometimes it just doesn't work, so should always keep this up to date. But now that this is online, regardless, I should now be able to swing back over to Power BI and refresh this. So as I mentioned, we've got the orange tile, which is the actual data source. This is essentially almost a cloud database that holds your data. That's the report which looks at that database. So we have to refresh the data, and we'll let that refresh. It shouldn't take too long. Feel free to pause it now until that's refreshed.
Yeah. So basically, just refresh any that haven't shown a recent refresh or have shown an error. Tom?
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's exactly what. So, I mean, they should refresh
themselves, so I can go through exactly when they refresh if that's helpful to you. We've got this Champions League on currently, which, that's also worth checking. So if it fails so many times in a row, the schedule refresh will actually turn off.
Okay.
So it's worth. I'll go back through that again.
Yeah.
So we've got our data source here.
Yeah.
And essentially, you can go into the settings of the data source. Now, I find the fastest way to go into the settings is this button here, schedule refresh button. You just click on that. That brings us to the settings for Champions League. So that is the settings of that data source. If we go down to schedule refresh, you'll see that this should be ticked to say, I want to schedule my refresh. And you'll see that's all already set. 6 a.m. it refreshes every single day. We'll just apply that. Now this Champions League report will refresh at 6 a.m. every day, so when everyone comes in, you should be able to go on and the data should be up to date. But it is, but I guess the reason for this video, it should be checked and maintained to make sure. I'm going to go through each one and make sure that is happening. So the schedule refresh is still on for this one. This one is set to refresh at 12 by midday.
Yeah.
To send off at 1. So this one refreshes at midday, and then when that refreshes, that updates the data set, and then once it's refreshed, the data set sends off. The dashboard sends off. I'm gonna send monthly, make sure that's all up to date. Brilliant. So you notice that one only sends every week.
You can just go, yeah, there, that's it.
Yeah, then that's it as well.
And this one didn't fail, so...
Let's see.
Data source undefined. This is the section of the data set that points at the gateway that we just set up.
You see there, that's the laptop that we're pointing it to
on that AnyDesk. I've got confirmation
that is running, it's happy. Let's have a look at this. Data source undefined. Okay, so this looks like a genuine error. This looks like there's actually an error in the database, that there's something being inputted as a date value, and we're expecting it to be a date value and it actually isn't. That looks like there's actually a problem with the with what's being put in the database.
Jocelyn, if you encounter this, then just screenshot that and then email it to me.
Yeah, this looks like a genuine error, but it's gotten past the undefined data source, which means that it would have refreshed if that wasn't a problem. So I can have a look at that at some point anyways.
We'll do that next.
Yeah. So how long does it usually take?
Usually takes about 7 minutes or so to refresh.
Shall we get them all refreshing and then just pause the video if they're not already?
Yeah. They're all refreshing.
I can look into
why this date thing's doing this.
Fine, well, put that aside for now. Let's say she's emailed it us. That's it then, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah. I mean, I can close it off if you want, but that's...
No, we'll go back to that. I'll just stop the video, that's all. Yeah?
Yeah, no problem.
So that's it. So just check that that's all running. Any errors, let me know, Jocelyn, at any point in that process, and then I can fix it this end. All right.